Get ready for the most thought-provoking show on the web. The Cipher Voice, every Monday at 6:30 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday at 8 p.m. on the We Believe Digital Podcast and Roku TV. We tackle the big topics, and we have the solution for our community. Tune in to the We Believe Digital Podcast. Also, follow on all social media. Let's make a difference together.
Hey, man, welcome, man. You are locked into the most thought-provoking show on the web. Hey, man, you are locked into the Cipher Voice right here from the We Believe Digital Podcast studio in Jackson, Mississippi. We're broadcasting to you live tonight in 149 countries as well as Roku TV. Tonight's show is brought to you by earthblendcoffee.co. Black owned, roasted right here in Jackson, Mississippi. It's just great coffee. The link is in the Facebook box. Click on the link and support our sponsor, earthblendcoffee.co. Hey, I'm telling you, I'm some type of way tonight. And if you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, or any of those social media platforms, I need you to tag and share. All right, and make sure you do that for me, please. But tonight's show, I promise you people, you will not be disappointed. I think tonight we sit down, calling lines will be open, 1-800-492-5186. And we have just an honest discussion. I want to present some things, and I want the listening audience to engage with us tonight. We got some work that we got to do. I don't think that we can sit here tonight and as Black Americans, I don't think we can sit here tonight and say that we're living our best life. In the midst of all that is going on in this country, systematic racism, judicial racism, all type of different racisms, yet it's more likely that an African American will die at the hands of another African American. And with all of that happening, there has to be somebody in the African American community that will sound the trumpet. There has to be somebody that will hit the brakes and say, hey, hold up. We can't continue to go this way. We can't continue to allow Jackson, Mississippi to be at a higher rate per murder capital than Chicago. We can't continue to let things like Chicago happen, where 80 people are shot at on a weekend, and 17 of them are casualties. 15 of them being African American people, 2 of them being African American children. When does the African American community, with all the power, with all the money, with all the superstars, with all the sports figures and all of the stuff that we so-called have going on, all of the charities, all the philanthropist groups, all of that, we're still losing African American men and women at a higher rate than any other ethnic group in the country. So when does it stop? When does somebody really get serious? Black Lives Matter? They don't really matter. They don't really matter if the narrative is not being pushed by the liberal left agenda. They don't really matter if it's not some form of feminizing the masculine male. Which brings me to one of my points tonight, which is it's about a 200% chance that a child without a father will see the prison system. That's fact. That's a fact. That's data. So there are some issues that are affecting us as a people. We don't have black fathers. We don't have strong black male figures. We don't have a moral code or a moral map in which Black America is following to preserve the African American culture. So we really have some work to do. And we really have some deep, deep discussions that we have to have. One of those discussions is, what are we going to do about the black father? What are we going to do? What plan do we have in place as a community, as a people, as a country? What plan do we have in place to salvage the decline of the African American male? Have you not seen him lately? Have you not seen him lately? Individuals from fathers of absent homes are 279% more likely to carry a gun, deal drugs, than peers that live with their fathers. That's a fact. That's a fact. And it's higher among African Americans. And so when we talk about all of the issues that are facing us as a race of people, one of the issues that we don't really hear anybody talking about is, what do you plan to do about the declining rate of the African American male? Because if he's not around to protect his women, to protect his children, to protect his heritage, to protect the integrity of his community, his family, his home, his livelihood, then what happens? I know some stats say that white Americans are dying at a higher rate in the southern regions. That could possibly be true. But what we do know is this, that currently here in Jackson, Mississippi, 80 homicides. Many of them African American men between the ages of 14 to 30. That's alarming. That's alarming. That's unacceptable in this community. That's unacceptable in Chicago. It should be unacceptable in New Orleans. It should be unacceptable in Baton Rouge. It should be unacceptable in Jacksonville, Florida. It should be unacceptable in Miami. It should be unacceptable in South Carolina, Trenton, New Jersey, Boston, Massachusetts. It should be unacceptable all over the world where there is a large population of African American people. Murder, casualties among our own, friendly fire, should be unacceptable. That we all through life, there's always been some mass movement with people. There's always been a remnant. There's always been some body of people that will push the people to the next level. I believe we're at that point. I believe we're at that point right now where in the history of the African American person, there has to be a cry. There has to be a call. There has to be a reemergence of values, core values, principles. There has to be integrity back in the home, back in the school, back in politics, back in law enforcement. What are we doing? What are we doing where there's a large population of us? Life is so horrible. And 5 minutes over the road in the same city, just go over Fortification Bridge, I think today I measured it 2.4 miles over Fortification going east, and life totally changes. You have the majority of the city that lives, kind of proves the theory, over the track, cross the track. On the other side of that track, life is totally different. Caucasian kids play in the street. Little kids ride their four-wheelers through beautiful communities and streets. They're not worried about cars flying down the streets, causing havoc. They're not hearing 223s and AK-47s and AR-15s in the middle of the night. They're not laying on their floors. Their seniors are not laying on their floors because they hear gunshots and they're in the same city. They're living just a rock's throw away. But life is totally different. And with that being said, Black America has to ask some serious questions. Those questions are, what's wrong with us? What's wrong with us? What's wrong with all the T.I.s, with all the Oprah Winfreys, with all the Michael Jordans, the LeBron James, with all the Tyler Perrys, all the superstars that you can name, with all of that conglomerate power, with all of that wealth, with all of that connection, still no cry in the African American community for black on black crime. Still no just outright cry, no push, no legislating, no lobbying. You got black people, you got more black people in Congress and in the state than you've ever had in the history of the United States of America. And nobody in the Black Caucus is lobbying or legislating for gun laws or any laws that particularly affect African American people. I mean, when is the last time you heard a black legislator talk about raising the age for purchasing assault-style weapons here in the state of Mississippi? When is the last time you heard a black elected official write a bill or lobby or get with a special interest group about closing the loophole on background checks for people buying firearms, knowing that their people are dying at the hands of these weapons more than any other ethnic group in the country. But yet, with all of the power, with all of the money, with all of the accolades, black legislators, black stars, black people with all of the money that we got, sit silent. They sit silent. Why kids? Why grandmas? Why children? Why young men are being cut short in the street with artillery-style weapons? The black community, in all of their era, in all of all that they have, they sit silently. No outcry, no knocking the door down, no beating down the door of gun makers and lawmakers that are making and passing laws that are clearly affecting the African American community. And I've sat and I'm watching, I'm like, when they gonna say something? When is somebody with all of the power, with all of the money, with all of the right connections, when are they gonna say something? When are they gonna get together and start special interest groups that particularly tell you, hey, we're gonna get us a politician. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna get in there and you're gonna fight. You're gonna fight for laws and legislation that will take some of this stuff out of the hands of people that are hurting our people. When are you gonna do that? I mean, when? I'm like, when is somebody gonna really serious get down to the nitty gritty about what's really happening? And ain't nobody doing it. And so we're thankful today that We Believe Digital Podcast Studio has allowed us the means and the opportunity to get on here and say what nobody else will say, and get it out to 149 countries as well as Roku TV. Black people, it's time to do what's right. We have in our possession a vice president. You mean to tell me the Black Caucus? The Black Caucus can't get together with all the law degrees they got? They can't get together and write some legislation and lobby for some laws that will take some of this stuff out of our community? Come on, people. Hey, man, you locked into the most thought-provoking show on the web. live right here from the We Believe Digital Podcast Studio. Tonight's show is brought to you by earthblendcoffee.co. It's just good coffee. It's in the Facebook link. Click on it and support our sponsor tonight, earthblendcoffee.co. It's black owned and roasted right here in Jackson, Mississippi. We'll see you right after this station ID break.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee.
To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.
Welcome to the Adventurous Podcast. I'm your host, Deidre Perry, and these are my co-hosts. And weekly, we will be coming to you to bring you the latest information in the world of agriculture. We invite you to join us every Saturday from 10 to 10:30. Join us. Come on, take an adventure.
Hey, man, all right, we're back. The call-in line is open tonight, 1-800-492-5186, 1-800-492-5186. I want to hear from you tonight. Listen, just real topics, all right? Check this out. So today, in Hinds County Municipal Court, all right? Hinds County Municipal Court, all right? You had Constantine Burgess and let me find out the other young lady here name. Constantine Burgess and one more young lady that appeared in court. All right, they appeared in court for hindering prosecution, aiding and abetting in a murder case. Now listen to me. All right? So a murder took place. They were witnesses to the murder. All right? Or to some aspect of the murder. All right? These are African American women. An African American man was killed, all right? They appeared before an African American judge, all right? They were accused, or they were arrested by, most likely, African American officers who did their job, their due diligence, and realized that some lies had been told and they had been sent in the wrong direction in reference to a homicide being a crime that had been committed in this community. They appeared before an African American judge, and the African American judge gave them a free pass, literally. In other words, he required no bond. He didn't ask for no bond money. He let them go on their own recognizance. All right? Let me back this up for you. So, Black Lives Matter, right? Check this out. So, an African American male was gunned down by most likely another African American male with a weapon that he most likely purchased from either another African American or a gun show that was manufactured by a white gun maker. All right? Now just check this. So the white gun maker makes a gun, puts it on the market, it sells to African American, and he sells it or steals it or gives it to another African American. It is then used in a homicide against an African American. All right? You have an African American suspect as well as two other African American suspects. Watch this. that appear before an African American judge. Okay? Now watch this. So a device designed and made by a Caucasian. And I'm saying this because y'all always talking about racism. I'm going to show you who's the real racist. That didn't force you to buy it, didn't put a gun to your head, told you you had to buy it, didn't do none of that. They just made a weapon and posted it on a web page or something and told you this is a new weapon that we make. However, they advertised it. An African American found some money, bought that weapon, might have had it and somebody might have stolen, might have had it legal, might have had it illegal. No matter. They took monetary monies that they got either from stealing from another African American or working. So either way, you had to work, you had to go work that same white man job that you say is racist. You had to go work his job, pay him his taxes for your labor, turn around, buy his weapon, bring it back to your house, either have it stolen from you or sold, you sell it to somebody else because you need some money. However, it gets in the hand of a criminal. They use that weapon against somebody that looks just like them. They then conspire and collude with two more people that look just like them. And those two people lie to the officers that look just like them. And then they are arrested by other officers that look just like them. Then they appear before a black judge that looks just like them. And he lets them go. Now, people, I tried to break it down for you as easy as I could. Because some of y'all on third grade level. And I think that's as plain as it get right there. And I'm just going to let that soak in. The call-in line is open. 1-800-492-5186. Now, I'm going to let that just soak. I'm going to let that just soak in, you know. Let you just marinate on that. Let that just settle on your spirit. Okay? Cause I don't think y'all get it. I'm serious. We gonna take a moment of silence on this podcast tonight, and I want y'all to just let that soak in. All right, I want you to just let that soak in right there. Just let that sit. Let that just marinate on you for a minute. Okay, all right. So when we be talking all of this stuff, you got to get to the root. You got to get to the root of the problem. All right? So after all of that, man, Judge William Walker, these women appeared before him, and he let them go on their own recognizance. Now, I have a problem with that. I told y'all, I'm serious. I dig deep, man. And some people say you just messing. No, see, because if you never get to the root of the problem, you ain't solved nothing. They told you that in math. So now here we go. So we have a device that infiltrated our community, being the gun. All right? And the gun is not really bad. Okay? Neither is the person that makes the gun. That's not really the culprit here. But if you were going to just be honest, you gotta ask yourself, why is it that is in there in our community? Okay? Now watch this. Nobody in the process that is African American profited off of a device that was made and nobody forced it on you. You was not forced to buy it. All right? It was made, and then it was just presented, and it infiltrated our community. All right? And then it wreaked havoc And after all of that, a judge that swore to take an oath to protect the citizens of this community didn't even have sense enough to realize and say, well, hold up. These women lied about a crime that had been committed that had caused havoc in this community, that caused trauma to families, and lives have been lost, and people are emotionally broken and depressed. Because this is what all goes on with homicides, people, when you lose loved ones. And black folks ain't even take time to sit down and think, man, look what we doing. Look who's behind it. None of us are profiting. None of us are winning in this battle. There ain't no black gun makers. Hello, somebody. There's not one black gun maker in the country. Let that sit in for a minute. Not one. There's black people in a lot of stuff. We're in a lot of things. We are in a lot of things. We in basketball. We in football. We in hockey. We in baseball. We in real estate. We in boxing. We in the NBA. We in the NFL. Man, we in a whole lot of places. But the one thing that we're dying to the most, watch this, we don't have not one foot in it. Not one. Not one. So a device that's being used by us more than any other race of people. We're dying by it more at the hands of each other as well as officers. And we don't have not one iota in the fight. And this judge sits here, a judge. I'm not a judge, and I'm sure I believe tonight I've done a good job at just talking to us. I believe I've argued a good point tonight. But I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge, but I have sense enough to know that if I got two suspects in front of me that are accused of aiding and abetting in the act of a felony, meaning somebody died, somebody lost their life, they have no reason whatsoever to be out. Not on bond, not on ankle monitor, and definitely not out on your own recognizance. And this is what I'm talking about what I just said in the first segment. When you get through with all of these black, left, liberal people, everything they say and do is detrimental to the African American person. Literally. I mean, totally. You tell me, how does a municipal judge, and I think Marshawn spoke about this last night. And now here it is, just today. How does a municipal judge sit on the bench representing the African American judicial people? As hard as it was for black people to sit in the judge seat. How does he even fix his mind to think that it's okay in this African American community to just let people go on their own recognizance when a black life has been lost? You think they would have got a bond in Madison? Do you think them two ladies would have got a bond in Madison County? Do you think they would have got a bond in Rankin County? People, it's right before your eyes. And the only way that you change this culture is by speaking up and speaking out. You can't sit here and continue to suffer in silence and think that something's going to change. It's not going to change. It's not. You have to make it change. Now, I'm going to tell you something. The mayor has become a real good friend. I say that again. The mayor of this city has become a real good friend. And I say that with all honesty. But watch this. I'm going to hold him accountable. I'm going to hold him accountable like I ain't going to hold nobody else accountable. I'm proud of the friendship. Because he appoints municipal judges. Do you get what I'm saying? Is the municipal judge is the mayor's appointee. And so guess what? We got to have a talk. Because this is unacceptable. It will not be tolerated. It will not be tolerated. All right? Tonight's show is brought to you by earthblendcoffee.co. It's just good coffee, black owned, roasted right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Click on the link in the Facebook description box and support earthblendcoffee.co. We'll be right back after this station ID break.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee.
To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.
Socrates Garrett Live every Friday at 6:30 p.m. on WeBelieveDigital.com. Socrates talks politics, finances, and social issues that affect the Black community and so much more. Phenomenal guests and engaging conversation. Straight talk, no nonsense topics that are informative, educational, and inspiring. Socrates goes live with church leaders, politicians, business owners, and others. The time is now. Talking to you about us. Socrates Garrett Live every Friday at 6:30 p.m. on WeBelieveDigital.com.
Hey, man, welcome back, man, to another edition of the Cipher Voice right here on We Believe Digital Podcast Studio from Jackson, Mississippi, broadcasting in 149 countries as well as Roku channel. All right. Listen, we're just in a deep discussion tonight. The call-in line is open, 1-800-492-5186. That's 1-800-492-5186. Oh, man. So tomorrow night on the show, we have a very interesting interview with a young lady who has a very powerful, I'm not going to call it a ministry. I think that's what she calls it, but I'm going to call it what you call those things, resort, all right? Because she's helping people. So, sometimes people have to get somewhere and just resort and just kick back and get into yourself. So she'll be here tomorrow night. She lost her daughter to gun violence, all right? And how it affected her and how the system failed her is unbelievable. And so she'll be here tomorrow night. You'll hear her story raw. And people, when I tell you, it's going to shake you to your core. And it's not just her story. It's stories like hers that are happening across the country. And it's those type of stories, like with Judge Walker today. I mean, Judge, how can you sleep at night? How? And well, I guess you can, because you stay over there on the other side where you ain't got to worry about that. But I'm saying, how do Black elected officials, how do they sleep at night knowing that their brother or sister that's out here walking up and down these streets or in this community is 7 out of 10% chance to be a victim of gun violence. How do you sleep at night with that type of knowledge, knowing this? Now it ain't like they don't know. They know it. And not be out advocating or pushing an agenda or requesting extra help from the FBI or the National Guards. I'm just saying, how do you sleep at night? How does a pastor, a preacher, a bishop, evangelist, how do you sleep at night knowing, having full knowledge? Watch this, people. Listen to what I'm about to tell you, because it's finna get tricky. How does a leader sleep at night having full knowledge that their people stand a 7 out of 10% chance to be a victim of gun violence? All right? Now watch this. If a leader has full knowledge of that and is not advocating day in and day out to eradicate that threat, okay? Listen to what I'm telling y'all. Then they are committing a crime against humanity. Let that soak in. I told you, we're just having real talk. Because this is what we got to have in America. If you're my leader, you self-proclaim leading me, all right? And William B. Carson talks about leadership over servitude in the book, The Miseducated Negro. If you're my leader and you have full knowledge that my greatest threat is dying at the hands of a gun, and you're not 24/7 around the clock, listen to what I'm saying, advocating, lobbying, legislating to eradicate the threat, then you ain't leading me. Can you imagine a platoon leader leading his men into a battle without first grabbing the intel on the enemy? Well, that's what our leaders are doing. You mean to tell me we got leaders that can sleep at night knowing, having full knowledge? Because that's what the indictment says. Indictment says you, John Doe, had full knowledge that you were blank, blank, blank committing a crime, felonious crime on X day. So that's a felony. That's a crime against the state. Well, guess what? When a leader has full knowledge that the greatest threat to his people is gun violence, and then won't step up, won't speak up, won't come up with a comprehensive crime plan, then you, the leader, are committing a crime against humanity. Come on, man. I know I ain't got to break this down for y'all, do you? The chief of police took a sworn oath. First, he swore an oath to be a law officer, all right, to serve and to protect, all right. Then he took an oath to be the chief of police here in the capital city, okay? He didn't take no oath to be no male chauvinist. He didn't take no oath to not respect his commanders who are literally running the city. All right? He did not take an oath to promote sergeants and friends who really didn't deserve to be sergeants. He didn't take no oath for all of that. He took an oath to serve and to protect. All right? That's what he did. And he took an oath to uphold the laws of this state and this country, as well as the laws and ordinance of this city. All right? That's the oath he took. All right? Now, if the mayor, and this is not a shot at him, if the council, this is not a shot at them, if the community, okay, has seen and noticed that the chief does not exemplify any of the stuff that he has sworn, number one, to do, and then number two, being paid to do, then the mayor and the council and the citizens have a responsibility to the whole community to disengage the chief of police from his duties, meaning send him on his way. You have several officers within the range. Matter of fact, you have women officers that need to be considered for chief. You have I know 2 right now. So we got work to do, man. We got a lot of work to do. And you can't sit by and expect change to happen when you yourself are seeing just you not seeing nothing, really. I mean, you seeing failure. You seeing failure. And so you got a whole community. You got council members. You got the chief. You got officers who have sworn oaths. You got pastors, preachers. You got community leaders, all who are committing acts against humanity because they took offices and oaths and put themselves up on pedestals that they were for the people, and yet the people are suffering at such a high rate that it's beyond real. And so, people, you just got to call it, and you have to do what you know to do, and that's what we got to do. Okay, and so call-in line is open, 1-800-492-5186. Gun violence. We pushing it. All right? It has to stop. It has to stop. Laws must be put in place. Judges must be put in place. Police officers must be put in place. That's going to be tough on crime around here. Man, you got officers around here playing with people on camera that's being disrespectful. No, man, you lock them up. Get a jail built in. Man, we need Hines County. Why David Archer is around here trying to harass his ex-wife and trick her out of her retirement and all of that other foolish stuff. And him and Creedell around here playing boyfriend-girlfriend games with Addie Green Road and the people of Edwards. They should be advocating to have a jail built so that they can do something about the people that we need to lock up around here. So they're talking about putting a jail in the Metro Center. You need a 1,500. You need 1,500 bed facility, maximum security. You need 1,500 bed, maximum security, man. Go ahead, caller. I got you. You on there?
Comment on the topic about gun violence. In New York, we have a law that says that you can't have a gun if it's not registered.
I can't hear the caller.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Tell the caller.
Hello?
Hey, caller, just call 601-896-8529. We get you like that. Huh?
I said, all right, thank you.
But I don't know what's going on with the phone lines, but caller, just call my phone. We'll get you like that. 601-896-8529. We'll get you like that. I can hear you that way. And so we listen, man. We don't have time to play along. We have work to do. The majority of this city is African American. The majority of the people in the top seats are African American. The majority of the people that are suffering are African American. The majority of the people that are enjoying the quality of life are those that are across the track, and I'm not trying to be ugly, and they are the minority, and they live at a greater quality of life. They have a better economic impact. Matter of fact, if Northeast Jackson was to pull out, Jackson would go bankrupt. The African American community could not support the tax base, the little one that we do have. And so it's time that we really take a close look at how we do government and how we police our community, how we must be vigilant about those that are in office, those that are being paid in high positions. We must take a clear assessment of the African American race in Jackson, Mississippi, as well as Chicago, Illinois, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Jacksonville, Atlanta, Georgia, all over the country. There has to be great dialogue and great discussion about the state of African American people. Tonight's show is brought to you by earthblendcoffee.co. Black owned, roasted right here in Jackson, Mississippi. It's just great coffee. The link is in the Facebook description box. Click on the link and support our sponsor, earthblendcoffee.co. Hey man, you are locked into the most thought-provoking show on the web. We'll be right back after this station ID break.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee.
To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.
New set, new look, new network. Catch the Tanya G Show every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. on WeBelieveDigital.com. Let's talk politics, business, the future, and more. Interested in being a guest? Email viralstreamtv@gmail.com. The Tanya G Show, where the guest is the star of the show. Every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. live streamed on WeBelieveDigital.com.
All right, man, we're back. Hey, listen, the call-in line is open again now. We got our phone lines working. 1-800-492-5186. That's 1-800-492-5186. Listen, man, we got about 13 minutes. Hey, let's hear from you tonight, callers. Let's hit that line. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you tonight. I need your perspective on the state of Black America, especially right here in Jackson, Mississippi. That's 1-800-492-5186. 1-800-492-5186. So listen, as we were saying earlier, and I think we've covered a wide range of topics, especially the gun issue. And on July the 28th, the location is to be announced. The National Coalition of Families Against Gun Violence will be in town along with this platform, the Cipher Voice, and we will be holding a city-wide candlelight visual as well as balloon release We'll have some guest speakers, criminologists, as well as some activists that will come and they will share. We'll have family members that will be there that will share their stories. We want everybody that has lost somebody to gun violence to bring a photo of your family member. Come out, share with us. We go heal together. We go grow together. We go mend together. We're going to fix our community. So July the 28th at 7 p.m. and the location is to be announced. I'll announce it right here as well as post it on our Facebook page. But we are totally against gun violence, and that is something that we will not accept in our community. We're going to be lobbying, we're going to be legislating, we're going to be on our politicians about fighting this terrible, terrible disease. All right, gun violence to the African American people is no different than diabetes, sugar, high blood pressure, heart attacks, anything else. Okay, we are dying at such a high alarming number to gun violence that it is almost mind-blowing when you really start digging into it. And if you are any kind of a human being, man, you got to be sensitive to that. You got to be. I mean, I'm just saying, if you're a human, if you're human now, if you're an android, that's different. But if you're a human being, I'm telling you, you got to be sensitive to the numbers of this gun violence situation, man. It is crazy, crazy, crazy. And I'm talking about kids. All right? I haven't even gotten into the kids part. I think we got a call on the line. Go ahead, caller, you on there? No call? All right. And so we haven't even gotten into the numbers of kids. I'm going to get the graphics up. Next week we'll have those graphics up. I'm talking about kids now. Kids that are dying. African American children that are dying, victims to gun violence. People, I'm telling you, why we're running after all of the other foolish stuff in the world, all right? Why you trying to keep up with the Kardashians and Beyonce and Jay-Z and everybody else. You need to be trying to keep up with how to get these weapons out of the hands of these people in your community so that you and your loved ones can have the quality of life that this great country so sought to give you. All right. Otherwise, you stand a 7 in a 10% chance of being a victim of gun violence. People, that's not good. That's not good. All right. And the only way you don't allow that to happen is you move out to the suburbs or somewhere. But if you hanging around in the hood, as they would say, all right? If you camping out in the hood, if you partying in the hood, if you got a girlfriend or a boyfriend in the hood, you gotta watch yourself, because it is a 7 in a 10% chance that you will be a victim of gun violence. Innocent bystanders got shot last night. Innocent bystanders. Ain't had nothing to do with it. You see what I'm talking about? That's the velocity. That's how much artillery is being released into your atmosphere. And I keep trying to tell y'all, I don't think you get it. Okay? So last night makes this fact even more factual. 2 innocent bystanders were shot while 2 other cars were shooting at each other. Okay? That's how much it is occurring in your community. People, I'm serious. I'm serious. We really have some work to do. All right? And gun violence, while you worried about COVID, you more likely to die from a bullet than COVID. Let that soak in. Let that soak in. All right? You're more likely to die from a bullet than COVID. You take your mask off. You ain't got to get vaccinated, I don't guess. Because hell, you hanging out in the hood, it's a 7 in a 10% chance you're going to be a victim of gun violence. That's crazy. And you don't have nobody. Yeah, nobody sounding the alarm. Man, this platform has sounded the alarm for a lot of causes, man, in this city. We sound the alarm in 2016 for the children of JPS. You had a superintendent in this city making over $250,000, and the schools were failing. They were in horrible conditions, and black city leaders, pastors, preachers, educators, and everybody else sat in silence. This platform did that, advocated day in and day out to get rid of Dr. Gray. And then this African American community turns around and now goes and get another superintendent who has come into this community, closed down 8 to 9 schools in poor, already poverty-stricken African American communities where education is key. All right, you already got terrible teachers in the district that don't really give their best to the children because many of the children that they deal with are disorderly. Come on, let's just be honest. They come from poverty-stricken homes. They're being tested on every curve, just period, by life alone. The community looks a mess. The neighborhoods look a mess. People shooting all day. Mom and dad is fussing and fighting all day. All right? And so even in school, they're being stereotyped by the so-called educator that don't stay in that type of environment, that lives over on the east side or in Madison or in Clinton or in Rankin, and who says that they, are raising their kids the right way. Come on, people. In this community, I don't see how this community can hang its hat like you got it together. We do not have it together, people. We do not have it together. Now, what me and people like Pastor Pickett and the mayor have said is this: we know we don't have it together. And if we go get it together, then we got to come together. I mean, it ain't no other way. If we don't have it together. We know we need to get it together. And the only way we can get it together is that we got to come together. We got to come together. And you're not going to like some of the stuff that we got to come together on. You know why? Because it's going to challenge you. You're not going to like it because it's going to challenge you. And that's usually why people don't never do great things. Because the average person don't want to be challenged. Don't challenge me in a conversation. You better not challenge me on the street because I'm going to shoot you. Don't challenge my opinions, my ideas. Matter of fact, don't even challenge me to lose weight, to eat right, to do the right thing. Don't challenge me, period. Don't challenge me in school. I don't want to do my homework. You got any homework? No, I ain't got no homework. Oh, okay. Parents don't challenge children. Nobody wants to be challenged. We view the challenge as something bad. It's a disrespect. You disrespected me. I'm here. I'm doing me. I'm doing me. You know, that was a slogan for some years. I'm just doing me. Well, what you doing with you, my brother? What you doing with you, my sister? Because when you look around, if everybody is doing me and we all doing right, then we would all have something. But you look around and you see that the me that we doing got us saying, oh my. Everybody doing me, but you look at us as a people and you got to say, oh my. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Look at all that's wrong. Look at all that we could be corrected, all that needs to be corrected, so that we can experience the same quality of life as they do across the track, as they do in Madison, as they do in Flowood, as they do in Clinton, as they do in Pearl. Why does Jackson have to be absent of that type of quality of life? Why can't we walk the streets? Why can't we play in our parks? Why can't our kids go play in the park, not have to worry about getting shot down? Why can't our kids hang out at the gas station at night and not shoot guns and burn rubber and fight all night long? Why can't we have that? If we are going to change the culture, we have to make a commitment. It won't be easy. It'll be some people we'll lose along the way. But for the sake of Black America, the culture must change. Tonight's show has been brought to you by earthblendcoffee.co. It's just good coffee, roasted right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Support our sponsor, earthblendcoffee.co.
You've just tuned in to the most thought-provoking show on the web and radio. You're tuned in to the Cipher Voice.
Hey family, this is Pastor J.R.D. Stuckey
and Pastor Jonathan T. Phillips Jr.
And together we are the host of The Doors of the Church Are Open right here on WeBelieveDigital.com.
And you can meet us, greet us, and be a part of this platform, this conversation every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. We're ready to talk about those things that's going on in our churches, around our churches, what we believe, what we feel, those taboo conversations that people really, Pastor, just don't want to deal with.
So every Thursday right here at 6:30, join us where we're going to talk about what's going on with the doors of the church are open.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee.
To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.